Hey, welcome to a new episode of Oldie Buddy Goodie. Thanks for checking this one out. If you love fun, this week's film has got you sorted. It's called Evolution. We are joined to talk about it by Jack McGorlick, who always brings the fun to the episode as well. He's back after only a few episodes off. And just like his last episode, we're trying out something new with the recording on this one. We are trying to record in the same room again with a bunch of different mics, and I think this one went pretty well. One of the microphones didn't record, so that kind of threw a spanner in the works, and then also my gain was up a little bit too high, but I've gone through it all and I've ironed it out as best I can, and here it is. A very long episode on the movie Evolution. I don't know why our episodes have been so long lately. I'm sure that when we stop talking about blockbusters, the episode lengths will go down a bit. But if you're liking the long episodes, then I'm glad, because we've had quite a few of them. In fact, I think this one just narrowly beats out Pearl Harbor as our longest single movie episode yet. So let's get into it. This is episode 179 on the movie Evolution, brought to you as always by Patreon. The series on Nicolas Cage starts on Wednesday with Ghost Rider. Here it is. Enjoy the episode. Imagine a year when the director of Ghostbusters does the same thing again but with aliens and too much toilet humor.
Yeah, what year was that, Sandra?
The year is 2001.
Hello and welcome to Oldie But a Goodie, the podcast where we talk about movies from 2001 in the order they came out in. We are deep in the summer blockbuster period. We're doing big budget, big muscle, high adrenaline explosion films right now.
Oh, we're wading through them. It's thick and greasy up in here.
It smells like Lynx Africa because it's 2001. No one knew it was bad yet.
Yeah. Everyone was under the delusion.
No one knew to pretend that they didn't like Lynx. That's the thing about Lynx, is that it's actually good.
I forgot that was your take.
I will say, I own a Lynx product, which is Lynx Leather and Cookies.
Oh, no, I did see that in Coles the other day.
Yeah. It's like hard leather and cookies. And I was like, that's yes, I will take that.
Well, it's very late on a Monday night, and that tangent there proves it. Today we're talking about the movie Evolution. My name is Sandro. As always, I'm joined by Zach.
I think these tangents will evolve as we go on.
I think you're probably right. Adapt
to the different stories we tell.
But they'll still only have single microbes or whatever the science term is for dumb.
I think these tangents will get Julianne Moore and
Wait a minute, who are you? We haven't introduced you yet.
Oh my god!
Here?
It's Jack McGorlick. He was on Shrek, and now he's here again.
I was on the Shrek episode,
and then he left like several cells on the recording table.
Yes,
and over the past couple of weeks, they've evolved into a new Jack.
A new Jack.
Yeah.
And this
which is here for
a better Jack.
Yeah.
A stronger Jack.
He's adapted to that. He can breathe oxygen now instead of nitrogen.
Who this time came in with a really cool line when I introduce him, because it's Jack McGorlick.
Hey, what's up? It's Jack McGorlick. It's happy to be back. It's been a while, but I just gotta say, thank you, Zach and Sandro. It's
this is a good one-liner.
I'm really glad that I could be here and talk about what I think is a great movie, an important movie, and an important movie. And look, it's just that
was so cool up until this point.
Wait, I can do this. Let me think. You're not giving me time.
Let me think. You're not giving me time.
The plot is out in my mind.
Still go.
And then
now he's rhyming.
Wait, make it seem like extemporaneously I'm happy to be here.
That's a word.
No, happy to be here. Yeah, we're talking about evolution. I had never seen this before, but you two have in different scenarios. Jack, I think you saw it as a kid, right?
Yeah, let me be clear. Zach and I have seen it in different scenarios, but there was nothing indifferent about these scenarios. Let me be clear. There was nothing indifferent about my viewing
Man, you've
of
really got
evolution.
into politics over the last couple of weeks, huh?
I've
Really
just been
deep
absorbing headlines. That's all I've been doing.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. How young were you when you saw this?
I think I was 10.
Okay.
Ooh.
I feel like that's a good age
Yeah.
for this. Whereas you saw it like a year ago?
I don't know. I said that. I have made claims that I saw it a year ago.
Allegedly.
But yes, I'm definitely sure that was like a COVID year ago. So it was probably more like 4 or
2019,
5.
probably, yeah.
Yeah. Look, it was probably ages ago. I tried thinking about it for this podcast. Like, what is my story behind this movie? I have no idea where or when or how I have seen this film.
But it has left an indelible mark.
Yeah. As soon as I saw, like, any pictures of this, flashbacks.
Yeah.
Like I was some sort of sleeper agent came back to me of this movie. I was just seeing images, flashes of, like, some guy getting utensils shoved up his butt and, like, these strange CGI creatures.
Yeah. Here's my thoughts on the movie we're talking about. It's just Ghostbusters again.
And is that a bad thing? Hey, fun fact, I rather enjoyed Ghostbusters. Don't know about you, but watching that one, I kind of enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, because when I first realized, hey, this is just Ghostbusters again, I was enjoying it. But then, those bum jokes, they just kept coming. And they came and they came.
Poor choice of words.
And by the end of the film, I was like, it's fine, I guess.
In order to enjoy this movie, in particular the humor of this movie, you have to get to a place where you're pretending that you don't know better. I feel to truly...
I feel like that explains most of the 2001 movies
Yeah.
we've done.
Oh, absolutely. You have to have a 2001 mindset going into watching the movie.
Because, like, 2001, like, the sense of humor then, I think we've both realized this, Zach. It was gross out.
Oh, yeah.
It was very fluid-based.
It was very horny.
It was incredibly horny.
Extremely horny.
Horny time.
Yeah, I will say, to look for a better word, perhaps, the climax of the movie wouldn't be the same without the
butt joke?
The fart and butt jokes.
Yeah.
Because it leads back into a thing. It's one of my favorite lines. But I will say I am a big hater of fart jokes themselves. So it definitely took me out because on one half, I'm really enjoying this film.
Yeah.
I quite like it. I'm having a good fun time. It's a fun time. Then the other half of my brain goes, hey, yeah, but that was just a fart joke. And remember that one time you said you hated fart jokes?
It's the Lion King conundrum. It's the Lion King
You
conundrum.
can't like this movie and hate fart jokes when they're happening. You can't have both.
I will say, this movie was fun. And it tried to do nothing but be fun.
Yeah, which is good.
There's a bit where they're
shit
trying to give David Duchovny's character backstory.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So,
so
for
bad.
a second he's in like a military court hearing or something. Like
Yeah.
And
What the fuck?
they talk about a low point in his career, in his life, where he gave people like a sickness through some biology thing that he was working on.
Yeah.
Right? And the music went like sad for,
I know.
for
Yeah.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
It went sad as if it weighed on this guy for 2 seconds, but it couldn't commit to being heavy. So it immediately shifted to upbeat, quirky, something zany is happening. And I never really felt like David Duchovny's character was truly felt remorse for his actions or as though it weighed on him at all.
Yeah.
I felt that as well. That scene was very funny to me as well.
Yeah, no. It completely took me out like, what the fuck? Why are we in a courtroom? Why are we just going on over this one character's backstory now? Why are we focusing...
Well, because if you go into the other character's backstory, he's a pedophile, apparently.
Yeah, look, well... That's a fair point. Fair point. I will say, I think I'm exactly in two minds of this.
Yeah.
One was a innocent, fun 2001 movie enjoyer who watched this film and had a great time. The other is the person has been doing a podcast for like 3 years about watching movies and has seen so many films at this point.
You're tired.
And I just like every time they try and do like things like, hey, let's just explain this character's backstory. How are we going to do it? Let's have a court hearing where we just explain who this guy is.
Zach, are you okay?
No.
Zach's fingers are clenched around his thighs and he won't
absolutely.
release. They're breaking through the jeans.
Look, my blood flow has been stopped in my legs at this point.
But I will say, like, Jack, one thing that you always say is that if a movie is fun, all other criticisms can be washed away.
Well,
and part of me is like, that applies to this movie, I think.
Yeah, and fun, I agree. And also, I agree with that thing that I said previously.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But I also think this about movies. If a movie is entertaining, just entertaining.
Yeah.
I used to mark movies that say, oh, that was like an 8 out of 10 movie, but it was so entertaining that it's a 9. No, it's not that. It's just a 9. That's what I think now, is that entertainment counts for a lot more than people think.
The whole point is
there is artistry in making something deeply entertaining.
Yeah, which is like Shrek, right? Yes, the background animation is garbage, but it's a 5 out of 5 movie because it's so fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, I earlier was doing things out of 10, so maybe if we just keep consistent.
Fine, 10. All right,
Okay,
all right, 10. And instead, Zach, what else came out this week in 2001?
That's a good question. Let my assistant over here kindly bring over the sheet of movies that I have to choose from. Well, I didn't have to choose from them. Sandra
I had to choose from them.
Yeah, last week. So, the other movies were The Anniversary Party, a comedy drama where a wedding anniversary gets a little out of control when an unexpected gift arrives.
Quick pause. Jack, what do you think that gift was?
Cake.
Yeah, I reckon that's it.
I think it was a baby.
Oh, maybe a baby.
What?
The gift of life.
The gift of life just pops out.
Which would be pretty unexpected, I'd say. Bride of the Wind.
No, not the wind again.
Yeah, a lot of wedding-themed ones here. A period biopic about a composer and a socialite. Alma Mahler.
I think that's right. I don't know.
Yeah, I butchered her name last week, and I'll do it again. Divided We Fall, an award-winning film about a childless couple who decided to hide a Jewish friend during World War II.
Too serious. We want farts.
Yeah, we need more fart jokes. And Swordfish, an action movie about Hugh Jackman as a computer hacker.
Nice.
Did
that have Halle Berry?
That's Halle Berry, yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing the cover in Video Easy, every week.
But yeah, Evolution. This was released June 8th. It is directed by Ivan Reitman, the man behind Ghostbusters and Twins.
I love a good old rat man.
This isn't the final film he directed, but it's close to it. He did make the Uma Thurman movie My Super Ex-Girlfriend, which I think I saw on Channel 7 once.
Nice.
I have not, but I am curious.
He also did the rom-com No Strings Attached and a sports movie called Draft Day. That was his last film.
Oh, there you go.
And he's an interesting presence in this movie because he really did change what it was going to be. So originally, right?
Oh.
Because it was originally written by Don Jacoby. He's the writer of the horror film Arachnophobia.
Oh.
Appropriate name, Jack B. And he's doing things with arachnids. Insects, you know? I see
what you mean. He also wrote John Carpenter's Vampires, which got him in the loop with John Carpenter, and he was like, I love The Thing. What if we make a movie that's like The Thing, meets the Andromeda Strain, is the pitch he had. So he wrote this as a very, very serious, probably very tense, sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
It is maybe Evolution.
It was originally a sci-fi horror.
I could see it as a sci-fi horror. I have seen The Thing, and this is very Thing reminiscent. I'm like, those soldiers just died. That giant fart monster just crushed like 20 soldiers. And the movie just, continues on its funny ha-ha soundtrack.
But there were moments that scared me as a kid.
Oh, there's some jump scares in this for sure.
Yeah. The concept of this movie is absolutely terrifying if you take it out of its fart comedy, light-hearted music. Can I mention that the music was absolutely wild?
I feel like I should hate it, but I loved the music so much.
It was wild. It just did whatever the fuck it wanted when it wanted, and it didn't care whether you liked it or not.
Yeah,
that the opening credits with the music behind it, it felt like the opening to like an upbeat 90s. Like comedy drama.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Every single piece of music in this feels like the opening of a sitcom.
Yeah.
It's great.
I will argue that Bombshell by Powderman 5000 was a little less sitcom-y.
You mean when it went into new metal for a couple minutes?
Yes. To quote... Get up, get up, get up, drop the bombshell.
You're not doing it in the right voice, though.
Get up. This is out of control.
Get up, get up, get up, drop the bombshell. That hurts. I'm not doing that.
I do say, sir, get up, get up. Oh, and drop the bombshell. Yes, I do concur. Get up, get up. This is getting rather out of control.
I liked that song, but very odd choice.
Yeah, it almost worked because then the second half where they were playing that song, they had the military doing their things. And that was a very suitable song for seeing the military go to work. But for the first half of that, we just had like panning shots of our main characters driving.
Driving while metal's playing.
Yeah, so it was very like bizarre.
Yeah.
Till the military got involved. And I was like, you could have just waited 2 seconds to then have the military shots of them putting in the weaponry for this to be appropriate. But again, the music doesn't give a shit what you think.
It doesn't.
It just does
good.
what it wants.
I like that.
I like, about halfway through the movie, they're driving in the car and they're playing play that funky music.
Yeah.
And there was no need for it. They just put it in because they wanted to make the movie a bit more fun.
Yeah.
This movie isn't quite fun enough.
Yeah.
We've had 2 slightly heavy scenes in a row.
Yeah, let's just be like, oh, we succeeded something. We're super excited. We're super happy. We're singing Play That Funky Music, White Boy.
That was a fun moment. But anyway, back to the script. So, it was originally John Carpenter-esque sci-fi horror. I guess the writer sold it to a studio. Ivan Reitman came along, read it, was like, you know what? This would make a pretty funny sci-fi comedy that's the follow-up to Ghostbusters I've always wanted to make since 1984. So what he did is he brought in David Weissman and David Diamond, little writing team, best known for a Nick Cage drama called The Family Man. They were brought in purely to combine the original script with another script by the writers of Road Trip and the future writers of The Hangover.
Yes!
That is Scott Armstrong and Todd Phillips, who would also go on to make Joker later.
That feels exactly like what this movie is.
It's 2 movies smushed into one. A comedy by the guys that made Road Trip, and a horror by the guy that made Arachnophobia.
Yeah. Because it's just like, throughout the comedy of this film, all I'm thinking of is just the horror that is this thing that will eventually take over Earth and rid the human race of existence. And I'm like... But they're too busy, making jokes about these 2 fat, dumb kids, who don't know anything, but, they're super smart in this one situation.
It was hard to take the threat seriously because it's just David Duchovny cracking wise and not taking the threat seriously. And he's your hero for the movie, so you're kind of living through him.
I like how he's like, I need to disassociate this character from Mulder. I'll make him... just constantly smiling. But speaking of the cast, David...
even Mulder occasionally worries about his sister. He's like, I had a nightmare about my sister again. This guy doesn't care about anything. He's like, I killed people with an anthrax vaccine. And he's like...
Yeah, but the
He
military...
couldn't even muster no more than 10 seconds of a sad music
but
track to think about what he
military
done.
dicks about it. They kicked me out. I hate those guys. What a bunch of jerks.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go grab some beers.
It's made a laughing stock. Alright.
Yeah. Yeah, so he plays Dr. Ira Kane. He was in movies before this, but of course best known for playing Mulder on X-Files. This was on, which was on its second last season when this came out, I think. So was that when...
I think he might have left.
I think he left at one point, yeah.
He left season 7, end of season 7 maybe?
So maybe it's season 5 was airing when this came out.
Right.
It was after he left. And then he came back for the reunion stuff, which
Yeah.
I've still never seen.
He was like not in season 9 at all, but I think he was recurring for maybe the 2 seasons before that, something like that.
He's good in this.
Yeah.
A lot of the movies I've seen him in, he plays a bad guy and not funny.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see him in more of a comedy role.
Well, I don't know. David disagrees. But anyway,
Who's David?
you'll find out.
Oh, Raven Reviews. I almost forgot what we were doing. We've also got Orlando Jones playing Professor Harry Block, the pedophile. He was on Mad TV. He's also in the TV show American Gods. Zach, we recently saw him in something. It's totally fine if you've wiped him from your memory.
I have completely. I'm a deer in the headlights here. He's like,
Zach
oh,
went
you remember?
somewhere when you asked him to recall anything about the movies that you've been watching.
Yeah. He's like, we've seen him before, and I go, I have not a single iota of memory of this man.
What if I say he played your favorite character in a really bad movie?
That would make sense because I loved him in this movie.
He's digging Say It Isn't So.
No way! What?
The incest film
Oh
that we did.
yeah, he was.
Yeah, it's him.
Oh, it's because he has like an afro in Say It Isn't So, and like a mustache. Oh my god, that's
It's
crazy.
Check out our episode on
loved
Say It
him.
Isn't So if you haven't heard it. That movie's fucked.
Yeah.
He's good in this, but I really wish
he's
that they
fucked.
hadn't brought up that he's got potential pictures of underage girls on his laptop.
Yeah.
Why is that a line that needs to be in this
Because
movie?
it's 2001.
Oh, good point.
I will say it was a different time.
We've also got Sean William Scott playing Wayne Gray, the fireman. He's from the American Pie films. He's in Road Trip, Dude, Where's My Car?
I felt like his character didn't need to be there strictly.
No.
They needed a fire truck, so...
I think
Yeah.
that. I think it's that, and they're also basically following Ghostbusters as well.
Yeah.
So he's the that one guy that everyone forgets.
Rick Moranis?
No, he's the Winston of the team. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
Just brought in late, and then
Yeah,
No, you're right. He's there purely because they want fire trucks.
I like this character, although his like hatred of his job and his boss was so unendearing of his character.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like the opposite of endearing.
They tried really hard to make him endearing by pulling pranks, but it completely backfired on them because it made him seem like such an asshole.
Yeah, he was a bit of a grumpy jerk. But yeah, he was there. He just doesn't really have much of a point to being there.
No.
They could have just stolen a fire truck and his character would have been null and void. Although he does have like a lot of the comedy points, like at the very start of the movie.
I liked that start.
We'll get into it in a second.
He did a lot of work with his eyebrows in this movie.
Yeah.
Pulling a lot of the eyebrow acting weight.
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
film, so.
And then finally, Julianne Moore is Dr. Alison Reed. She's from The Big Lebowski, Children of Men, Boogie Nights. She's good in that. And just recently in 2001, she starred in Hannibal. So she's fresh off that. Already won awards. It's weird that she's in this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she's too good.
She's better than this movie.
Yeah.
You know,
Avatar?
No, that's Sigourney Weaver.
I was thinking of Sigourney Weaver.
the thing about her character in this movie, though, is they introduce her, and then like one scene later, the main characters are joking about how she's an ice queen.
Yeah.
But she's not portrayed that way. She's just a person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's not
yeah.
portrayed as like particularly icy or cold at all.
I think it's because she's a woman.
Yeah.
And it's written by the guys who wrote The Hangover.
Yeah.
That might be it. I did hate how they made her clumsy. That was pointless.
Oh, that was dumb, but it was just a character point.
She gets the best line, though, which was, I would have rocked your world. Just the way that she delivers that. Not convinced that this is a good punchline. It's great.
Yeah.
So, who was Block? Who played Block?
Block was Orlando Jones.
So he's the least successful actor out of maybe Sean William Scott.
Sean doesn't really do too much anymore.
Yeah.
Orlando is in American Gods at least.
I feel like those two were the ones who it felt like they were acting for their career in this movie the most.
I can see
they
that.
were giving the most. They were giving a lot.
Yeah.
David Duchovny didn't need it.
Oh, no.
So
He did for films though, because he wasn't well known in films. Like he did Beethoven and the X-Files film at this point. That's all he'd done really.
So he killed it with Beethoven. He killed it with the X-Files film. So he didn't need it.
Oh, yeah, okay, good point. Fine, I will... And there's also a bunch of...
Egg on my face. No, you really are. I really went for it.
No, I feel like he's not putting 100% of everything in. He was just kind of doing, as you said, just this smiley guy, you know?
Well, he was starring in X-Files at the time, and you find that with a lot of actors who do 20-plus episode seasons. They get 3 months off, they go do a film, and they are just kind of treating it as a vacation.
Yeah.
And I think that might have been him
Yeah,
during this.
for sure.
He did seem happy. He had a glow about him.
Yeah.
I would say. Do you think this was the happiest time in David Duchovny's life?
What happened after this?
I don't know.
Because after X-Files, he didn't really do much.
He did Californication, I think.
Oh, yeah.
He played himself in what was the show? It was about it might have been a Netflix show about a university administration.
Oh, was that
With Sandra Oh.
With Sandra?
No, with Sandra Oh.
Oh, sorry. A little confusing there.
Oh, The Chair.
The Chair.
That was pretty new, actually. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but he played himself.
Oh, he's good in Twin Peaks as well. He's in there for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
As a DEA agent. Anyway, this is 44% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics. They said that it tries to recapture Ghostbusters, recaptures the feel,
Check.
doesn't recapture the smart jokes.
Correct.
However, that might feel negative. At the time, critics hated every single comedy, and they said that this was better than every other comedy that came out recently. The audience score for this is not much better, 48%.
Yeah.
6.1 out of 10 on IMDb, slightly higher. B+ cinema score, which feels high.
No, I feel like that's correct.
Cinemas,
Is what you were trying to say.
Yeah, well, in terms of the cinema scores, they're usually A. So for something to be B, it's a little bit, oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, you could clearly tell that some people just don't like this.
This cost $80 million. What do you think it made, Jack?
I reckon it
a lot of
lost
CGI.
money.
Oh.
Oh, bold. This is blockbuster season.
But Shrek did just come out, and Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, yeah. How could it compete with
Let's
Pearl
say
Harbor?
that it did slightly better than breaking even.
Okay.
90 million.
90
Don't
million.
listen to me. I'm trying to sway your scores here. Remember, this is a competition.
It's not a competition.
I'm your enemy.
90 million from Jack.
I'm going to say 120. That's my guess.
120. In second place, it is Zach. In first place, it's Jack. 98.4 million.
Oh, wow. You were right on the money. Wow.
Which is technically a bomb because marketing isn't added in the budget usually.
Oof.
So wouldn't have done too well.
This movie markets itself.
It does.
You don't need marketing.
That's why we're here, you know?
Yeah. I like how the logo for this movie is a smiley face with 3 eyes.
That was sick.
But
Yeah.
it's never in the movie.
Yeah.
It's right at the end. Right?
Yeah.
Just before the credits.
Yeah, but they do like a big CGI screen thing with it instead of it being like the symbol of the Alien Buster Squad, you know? It's just a cool thing that they decided to use.
Like, I feel like you could take the premise of this movie and rewrite it and make a really good movie.
Oh, yeah,
Even making a comedy evolution movie. Like, even if you don't change the tone.
Yeah.
Just rewrite the movie.
I reckon
Taika Waititi would do so well with this.
Do you know what I'd do? I'd make it so that in the school there's like an alien conspiracy club. And that smiley face is the club symbol.
great.
I like that.
That's really good.
And so there's just these like fanatics that learn about this alien and they go and study it, that sort of thing. They get kicked out.
You know what I think though? That was a brilliant idea, Zach, and I think it's maybe better than this idea, so I'm not even going to one-up you. But, like, they have just a normal smiley face, and then incidentally do the third eye. Like, and then they're like, this is what it is, and it's as they're forming the club.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I reckon that's good.
What I did like, that smiley face with the three eyes, I remember being a kid and seeing the poster for the movie, and I always really liked it. I found it very striking visually.
It grabs you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this movie, if we can agree on one thing, it's this. This movie should have had slightly less Dr. Black being a sex pest and slightly more of that three-eyed smiley face.
Correct.
This is correct.
Cool. These are facts.
All right, before we jump into the synopsis, 2 taglines. Thumb up or thumb down. What voice should I do him in, Jack?
Cool one.
All right. Have a nice end of the world.
Thumbs up. Thumb is up.
It's a great line, but the delivery was not so great.
I thought it was pretty cool.
I'm not a fan of the cool voice. I'm going to give that a shaky thumbs up.
All right. Coming to wipe that silly smile off your planet.
Off your planet.
Off your planet.
That. Threw me for a twist there.
I feel like you actually... you delivering that was better than if I'd seen it written. I reckon if you see it written, that would look silly.
I think they are very silly.
I thought the first one was good.
Have a nice end of the world. I do like that one.
End of the world.
Yeah,
that's cool. Coming to wipe that silly smile off your planet.
Like, who's saying that? The aliens?
Yeah, the aliens.
But they're not there maliciously.
I think they're pretty malicious.
Yeah.
They're just trying to survive, man.
I think they're
Why do they have to be?
surviving.
Why do they have to be evil? Those.
I'm pretty sure they're pretty malicious alongside being there for survival.
They are a little bit, yeah. Well, we don't know what short amount of space.
Exactly.
Maybe we can find out in Alienators. Evolution Continues, the kids' animated TV show that lasted 1 season.
What?
Yeah.
Pardon?
There's a kids' show called Alienators. Evolution Continues.
Is it based on this movie?
Yes.
Is it on this movie?
Yeah, 26 episodes and got cancelled.
I disagree.
It's out there.
Does not exist.
Did you say it's a cartoon?
Cartoon. It looks like Kim Possible.
I liked it. See, I feel like if you remade this movie, you could make a really cool movie, and I reckon buy that.
It's a cool concept.
It is a really cool concept.
G'day, Kegel here from Aussie rap duo Kegel and Greg. I write funny songs with my true blue bestie Greg, who sounds a lot like Sandro from the podcast you're listening to right now. This episode of Oldie But a Goodie is brought to you by our debut album, Keep 'Em Wondering, which is out right now. Here's a sneak preview of one of the songs.
We might not be the richest men alive, but yet we get by, but yet we get by. I might not in a Porsche or a mansion or some jewels. I might not have a shed filled with Bunnings tools. I might not have a water or table type pool. I might not have cows or chickens or mules, but I get by.
Wow, that was amazing, and it's from our debut album, Keep 'Em Wondering, by Kegel and Greg. Cheers, enjoy the rest of the episode.
All right, let's get into the plot of this thing. We are quite far into the episode, actually.
Yep.
It starts off with a meteor. Meteor's crashing towards Earth. We're introduced to the fireman who is running drills out in the middle of the Nevada desert.
Yeah.
Is this set in LA? Or Vegas? It's not Vegas.
No, it was the whole point of it is the mayor's super point.
Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona. Yeah. Because I was gonna say this is very Arizona.
Yeah, what's that region
Arizona.
called? Like southwest.
Yeah,
The Southwest Mountains.
It was very patriotic for a movie that didn't say the word USA throughout it.
That's
it was
true.
very Arizonic.
I did like how it starts off very kind of Men in Black-y, where it's like really dark. You're not sure what's going on because this guy drags a mannequin, like a dressed, squeaky mannequin, out of his car's boot, a CPR doll, and just puts her in like this old house, talking about
shack.
I'm gonna destroy you now.
That's it.
Just
Now that
starts
you say,
lighting
this
it.
movie really did strike the tone of Men in Black.
Oh,
I think,
absolutely.
but just with none of the substance. That
Yeah. It starts off here, and then later on, 2 guys come up in suits,
Yeah.
which turn out to just be some college professors. But, like, they come up in suits, they flash a badge and be like, we're the FBI, you know, whatever.
Yeah, it was like that for a bit.
Yeah.
It was Men in Black. Was it
99, maybe?
99, I think?
It definitely borrowed heavily from Men in Black, for sure.
97 was Men in Black.
The whole, he, like, lights the shack on fire, drags the doll out, he's doing all these drills, and then a meteor shows up.
Yes.
Boom, meteor, fucks everything up.
He manages to run away from the blast, like,
Yep.
quite impressive, because, like, meteors cause massive damage. It's kind of surprising that this was such a small one.
Yeah, but more to the point, his car gets fucking blown up by this meteor.
Oh, but not the engine. Just all of it but the engine.
In the scene, all I can see is this giant fireball erupt, and this car is launched, burning and breaking apart. And then in the next scene, he goes, it almost totaled my car. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean, almost?
He's a firefighter. He's going to make the most out of, what
I
he's
just
got.
fucking saw that thing explode.
I think
It's a goner.
I think the writers wrote that scene and they were like, this is a great scene, but then they needed the character to be mobile and they were like,
Yeah.
we're not killing our baby. That first scene was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
But then-
rewrite the rest of the movie around that.
To be fair, later on we see its car and it's like a pancake. It has just been destroyed.
He has to hold the door.
Yeah, like he has to hold the door closed as he drives along. Like it's a wreck. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess that.
Which
yeah,
was a fun moment.
yeah,
I like
yeah,
that moment
It
a
was
lot.
it was funny. So I'll give the movie credit there.
Yeah.
But at that one scene where he's like, my car was almost totaled, and I mean, like, what? I saw that thing blow up, dude. You're gonna have to contact your insurance company and be like, meteors.
The whole
and try
scene.
to explain that.
The whole scene was like, dude, there is his car
Yes.
flying through the air.
Yeah, exactly.
Was
So I
Sean
was a bit
William
confused.
Scott in?
He was in.
Yeah. That's a good one. Thanks.
Thanks, Jack. Yeah.
So yeah, there's these two fancy schmancy college professors.
And I think it's an interesting twist, right? Because we're introduced to Mulder first. We're introduced to David Duchovny, Kane.
Ira Kane
first. And in Ghostbusters, we're introduced to Bill Murray first. No, we're not. Dan Aykroyd first?
Dan Aykroyd, I'm pretty sure.
So he's the Dan Aykroyd of the movie, and then Block is the Bill Murray of the movie.
yeah.
Who is Dan Aykroyd in this movie?
Oh, he's a bad guy.
Yeah. Wait, so is he like the police commissioner or
He's
something?
the governor.
Yeah, he's the governor of this movie.
I love that he's in it, but I also kind of wish that he wasn't, because it would be so funny for like the fan theories that this is Ghostbusters 3 just to run wild. Like you have him, like a TV's on and there's like an ad for the Ghostbusters or something.
If you had it be Dan Aykroyd has been possessed by the ghost of Richard Nixon, then that actually makes sense for
that works really well.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got those two. It's already weird how they introduce Block, because he's like talking up a student. It checks her out.
Well, he's not talking her up. She's doing like the whole, oh, professor, I need extra credit.
Yeah.
And he's going like, well...
but he's very happy about it.
Oh, yeah.
Very
but
happy
then, like,
that she happens
his
to be
friend
extra
comes
credit.
in, bumps him, they have a talk, and then he's leaving, and he goes, check out this lady. And I'm
was-
like, no!
I was talking to Zach about this before we were recording.
How
and
dare you?
He talks a lot, you know?
I like how I feel like pre-2010, maybe not until then, certainly in the early 2000s, you could make jokes and the joke was just that a woman was hot. Like, there was nothing more than that. It's just it's funny that a hot woman exists.
Yeah, it is pretty funny.
Oh boy, me and Sandra could tell you this whole year there's at least one joke in the movie where it's just a hot woman. Literally.
But she almost joins the team at one point though, and I was like, are they going to do something with it? No, she's gone after that one scene.
Disappointing.
They go to check out the meteor.
Speaking of checking out.
Yeah, they got to check out the meteor that's landed. Oh, there's those cops there, and they're like having a photo shoot in front of it. I liked the line, "Oh yeah, show me a little more nightstick."
Yeah.
Great.
The silly cops.
There's always silly cops in these movies.
Contaminating the evidence.
They take a sample of the meteor. It's got like organisms on it that are multiplying like crazy.
Yes.
And the organisms have like mouths, I think, right? 'Cause they're like starfish with like little mouths.
Yeah, they're like little organisms, and then later on they come back, and they've gone from single cell to multi-cell.
Yeah. And David Duchovny says they have 10 base pairs.
Yes.
Whereas Earth-sourced life forms have but 4 base pairs.
It proves that they are alien life.
I guess it does. And Block is like, wow, the Nobel Peace Prize. Does it pay in installments or a lump sum like the lottery? There's some funny kind of quotes in here. I'm not a scientist, but how many cells do single-celled organisms have?
Oh yeah, I've got a few quotes.
That's
a few of my
ones.
favorites.
But yeah, they are evolving very, very quickly. And they're like, we need to check out that meteor site once more. So they stage what's it called?
Field trip.
A field trip in a yellow school bus with a bunch of college students.
Yeah.
I think, having watched this movie, I want to go to Arizona. This was a good ad for Arizona.
The aliens aren't there anymore. They've killed them.
Yeah, but aside from that, what I do like is I like the really blue skies, the orange landscape, and the overexposed, like the high, like way too high contrast film.
Yeah, this film did have a look to it, and it's because of the Arizona desert. It's good.
Yeah, it looked like a lovely place. Great to visit. Don't know about staying because of the aliens.
Oh, because of the aliens.
Yeah. There was one that looked like a man-baby dog thing.
That thing was wild,
but
man.
Then it had like an alien tongue.
A xenomorph face
tongue.
thing.
Yeah, that was no fun.
There are some good designs in this movie.
Yeah.
Some really good designs.
I am surprised because I remembered the CGI. And I remembered it being notable. And so I was expecting god-awful CGI levels, but the CGI was not as bad as I remembered. It is more detailed than I thought it would be. Like, I think the reptiles have, like, scales and other things.
Yeah.
They're still definitely a little bit shiny. They stick out from the surrounding things. But they're almost close to, like, blending in with everything.
I think every CGI thing that is smaller than a human looks great.
Yeah.
Anything that's larger...
Like a giant farting starfish?
Looks bad.
Yeah. That's fair. But for 2001...
Oh, it's better than The Mummy Returns.
Impressed.
Like, it looks good.
By miles. I was very impressed.
How was it going back to a film that looked like this, Jack? Was that, like, how was that for you?
I remember when I was a kid thinking that the CGI looked bad.
Nice. I'm glad me and him are on the same level.
So they're checking out the meteor now. There's plants there. There's worms and stuff. I like the quote when one of the students is like, "Oh, this smells disgusting," and one of the scientists says, "Well, sometimes science stinks." I just thought that was a good line.
It's accurate.
It's a good one-liner, yeah.
Yeah, they're not at all concerned about going into what appears to be a new ecosystem that's just sprung over life. That they clearly have not seen Prometheus or anything. Because I was just waiting for one of the students to find an egg lying around and be like, "Oh, let me put my face near it." You know?
Yeah,
it's got the same vibe.
I was thinking that as well. I was like, this is very, very alien.
This is the point in the movie where my brain went... One half was like, this is a silly, funny comedy movie. The other half went, sci-fi horror thriller. I've just witnessed an ecosystem sprung up. Prometheus, Alien, Planet Nuke. We're all fucked. Panic.
Yeah.
Burn it all.
But that's the thing. Your brain does that, and then you see David
Yeah.
Duchovny smiling.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that monkey part of your brain is
Yeah.
like, hero man, happy? Okay, I'm happy. you
Yeah,
know?
because I think it is. Yeah, like it's like the mist on the floor and everything.
Yeah.
Very, very Ridley Scott-esque.
It raises my trained brain
Yeah.
from watching horror movies, and specifically sci-fi horror, is going full red alert.
Oh,
at
my
this point.
hackles were up.
Yeah. But the movie's like, wow, look at this silly fauna
Yeah.
here. All these funny little worms. Oh, look, the girl there is like, ew, worms.
Yeah. Oh, at least they had the self-aware, though, for her to be like, I don't want to be your girly, but...
Yeah,
a little bit self-aware. I liked, though, that you're like, the mist on the floor, the reasoning behind that is what the worms can breathe. So as soon as you take them out of that mist, they just die.
Yeah.
That was a cool idea.
Because they don't like live on oxygen. Or breathe oxygen.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's a classic alien, I have to say, trope where there's some weakness,
Yeah.
like the oxygen or something that they can't. They've done all the big braining to get here, but they forgot we breathe oxygen, you know?
Yeah. There's more stuff. They do more research back at the lab. They come back, but this time the army's there. And they run into this guy who seems to know Kane and won't let him work there because of the bad thing he did in the past. So they sue the army.
And for some reason, they detour off into a court hearing.
Jack, what is... Please explain.
Yeah, you're the expert in this area.
Understand what it was.
It's so...
I don't understand who Julianne Moore's character was and why she was present at the hearing.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
because she starts interviewing Kane
Yeah.
as a witness.
Yeah, this is weird. Even before that, you had this whole scene where just the lines leading up to this, where they have that whole back and forth with the general. It's like, it's good to see you. It's like, you worked in the Pentagon? And he's like, yes. And then the movie moves on. Like, yeah, how else is he going to reply to that question?
Like,
Yeah, 'cause-
you know how, like, in Cool Runnings, John Candy's character, he, like, put weights in a bobsled and now he has to live with that for the rest of his life and now he's a drunk. Ira Kane's equivalent is that he poisoned hundreds of people.
100,000 people, I think they said.
With some sort of anthrax vaccine that
It
went
was
wrong.
it was an anthrax vaccine that had all the symptoms. Like, all of them.
So he gave everyone anthrax, and he didn't even seem to feel a little bit bad about it.
He's fine with it.
He was happy.
They named it the Kane Madness. There is a thing out there in the army named after him and a bad thing he did, and he's like, that's fine, I don't care, it's good. And also, yeah, there's the scene where they're talking to the general, and he's like, we've been monitoring your computers.
Oh yeah, so the general.
Oh, no.
The general and his offside was Buffalo Bill and Phil Dunphy were working together.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we've been monitoring your computers. And of course, Blanc's like, all those girls were above 18.
Why bring it? I mean, it's the guys that wrote The Hangover, so I guess that was a joke in the original script.
Yeah.
I hope that they wrote. Just why? Unless
Thank you, 2001.
unless it's the other two writers known for their drama work, who wrote that in thinking that was a good joke to fit the landscape of 2001.
Yeah,
like
didn't the writer or director of Joker, who said Todd Phillips?
Yeah.
Didn't he say you can't do comedy anymore? Didn't he? He said something like
Yeah, he got really angry, like annoyed on Twitter, and was like, everyone's asking why I'm making a serious Joker film, you can't make comedies anymore. And everyone was like, yeah, you can't do the sort of comedy you do anymore.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good point.
If you had to give that joke, the underage girls joke, the benefit of the doubt,
I don't want it.
how would you concoct a way to do it? I'm asking the real questions.
If it was satire.
I feel like my benefit of the doubt is that, because here's how the joke goes.
Yeah.
Block, Phil Dunphy says, hey, we've been tracking your computers. Block goes, those girls are all over 18. And then Phil Dunphy goes, sure they were.
Yeah.
My benefit of the doubt to this movie is that Phil Dunphy's character is just misread the situation, and they were over 18.
So maybe Block was making a joke, like to lighten the mood. He was like,
so you find out he's into like cougars or something later on, and that was just a joke he made. And
You'd make a comeback.
They're like, no
and
shit.
You actually misread this. This is my think piece. I'm going to write this as a think piece.
yeah.
I love how there's always one joke that we just get fixated on.
I don't like this joke that we're fixated on. I'd like to.
You know what happened? When I saw that scene, I said, this is going to get brought up more than once.
Why do you think that is, Jack? Why do you think that is? Is it because it's problematic?
Yeah, and I thought, and it won't be just me that brings it up.
Oh, no. Absolutely not.
So weird that they wrote that in. Another line that I love that they wrote in was they then go back to the lab and they see that it's been ransacked, right? There's papers everywhere, important stuff is missing. They go over to the computer and we get the quote, "The data's gone. The DNA sequence and the JPEG files have all been cleaned out." Which I just found fun. It's so 2001 just to say the JPEG files.
Not the JPEG files. That had all the over 18 women on them.
So they sneak back into the crash site. It's real easy.
Yeah.
Just to sneak on in.
They somehow have military uniforms on them.
They probably bought it at a clothing, like an outlet store.
David Duchovny used to work for the Pentagon.
So he might have just had they're both his previous uniforms.
Was he military though, or did he?
He did say he was a colonel, because the guy goes, "Why do you get to be the colonel?" And he goes, "I was a colonel."
Yeah, okay.
Nice.
Is what he says, which
good.
I thought was a good snapback.
They head down there. Julianne Moore is there. And so when they sneak into the meteor area, which is now a full alien world, they just start... Well, not they. Block just starts talking her up.
Oh.
And by talking her up, I mean taking her down.
Yeah, bad-mouthing behind her back. I mean, they both say some things that are not great.
Yeah, definitely.
But Block is definitely the instigator.
He's like...
And the continuer.
She's a stony ice queen who just needs some humping, was one of the lines that you brought up earlier.
Yep.
Just...
classic line.
Real, icky, gross... What are they doing?
I feel like they couldn't pick a characteristic to give that character.
Julianne Moore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she was clumsy. I feel like the clumsiness was supposed to be endearing in that first scene when they introduced her.
Yeah.
But she's also not clumsy in any other scenes in the rest of the movie.
Well, she is.
Is she?
She lands on some guy's... the fireman's crotch at one point.
I didn't even trigger that as clumsiness because it just seems like something that would happen.
And then they try and force something between David Duchovny and Julianne Moore, and it doesn't work to the point where when Julianne Moore delivers that line, "Oh, I would have rocked your world," she's not even convinced. It's very funny that they try to do that.
Their chemistry's a bit weird.
They didn't make enough animosity because Julianne Moore's character, to make it seem all right, the Block was making those horrible jokes.
Yeah.
Julianne Moore's character wasn't even that offended by it.
Yeah.
She was just like, "Oh, you boys!" That was the kind of energy.
That was like boys will be boys. Super hard there.
Yeah.
Which would be like, oh god.
But anyway, the good thing is the alien world under there looked amazing.
Yeah.
I think it was practical.
Oh, yeah.
Most of it.
A lot of it was practical, although you do see little crab creatures and other creepy crawlies crawling about.
Yeah.
And one big fat-ass creature.
With the massive bum.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh, it reminds me of that woman."
That's how that is what set Blocks off, you know?
Oh, there was a great alien that has two faces on either side of it.
Oh yeah, that was cool. And then it
cool
gets
design.
eaten by something else.
And there is, of course, a small mosquito, Jack. What happens with the small mosquito?
Oh no, here we go.
So this small mosquito is trouble.
Do you care to give him a name?
No. Do you?
I was just wondering if you wanted to give him a name.
I wasn't that attached to the small mosquito.
No, I'm very attached to the small mosquito.
I will call the mosquito Imitap.
Imhotep.
Imhotep. So Imhotep actually isn't a small mosquito. As far as mosquitoes go, it would be a large mosquito.
Oh, yeah.
It's a small alien creature.
Yeah.
Large mosquito. I would say 20 times as big as a regular mosquito.
I'd say that's probably correct,
Yeah. This
the math checks out.
This mosquito slices open Block's hazmat suit.
Yeah, very intelligently. This mosquito knows what it's doing.
This
is surgical.
this is 3 days into its evolution.
Yeah.
The evolution of this. Slices open the hazmat suit, goes into Block's hazmat suit. Block starts screaming, and then he stops. He says, "It's in me. It's in my suit." And then you can see it in like the face mask of the suit. And then it starts flying around again. They're trying to get oxygen into the suit, which I didn't really get. Anyway, so the bug starts flying around more and more.
Imhotep, sorry.
Imhotep starts flying around. And then Block freezes and says, "It's in me."
It's in him. It's in him. And so they rush him to surgery and we get the scarab beetle effect.
Yeah.
Running around.
And this didn't make sense at all.
No.
You see it under the skin of his leg.
Yeah.
And it starts moving up. And they say, it's moving towards his testicles.
Yes.
We're going to have to cut it out there. Then he said, they're like, we'll need to amputate. He's like, don't amputate my leg, don't amputate my leg. Then they're like, it's heading towards his testicles. He goes, amputate my leg.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Pretty funny.
Absolutely.
Pretty funny.
Then it keeps moving up and says, we're going to have to get it out of his colon.
Of his colon. And how are they going to go in?
With forceps.
And someone is like, we're going to go in rectally, and there's no time for lubricant.
There's always time for lubricants. Quote, end quote.
It doesn't... How did this thing get inside its colon?
Like,
it just
being
being under like
back
a
out.
couple layers of skin.
I mean, if it's the size of a normal mosquito, maybe okay. But if it's that size, it's like cutting holes in certain
Into
parts
the colon.
to get in there.
Inside
This
the
guy's
colon.
gonna die from eternal bleeding after this happens.
I don't know how.
But it was pretty
maybe
funny.
It was pretty funny.
There's always time.
Did you see the faces that he was making when he was getting into that? It was weird as well because Julianne Moore and David Duchovny's characters were like holding him down and reassuring him, and they weren't convinced that this was a good scene.
I remember what she was saying. It was like, it doesn't sound like she was convinced at all.
David
Duchovny.
Duchovny's just smiling again. Through it. He's having a good time.
You're taking it like a man.
Oh yeah, that was a line. I liked how at the end they're like, "What sort of food do you want, Block?" And he's like, "Ice cream." "What flavor?" "I don't care. It's for my ass."
Why not get ice?
Anyway, let's talk about Mr. Fireman. Because he hates his job. He's a pool man.
Oh yeah.
It's a pool boy.
He's a pool boy.
Pool manager.
So this was the first time this movie did a weird segue. And that segue is he gives this guy a real stiff drink. So then we follow that guy that was given a stiff drink. And maybe in a better movie, we'd follow him for a reason, like, the drink was laced. He got back to him by giving him something with poison. We just kind of follow him on a little getaway on the golf course with a lady, and he's waiting for the lady to rock up, and he gets some champagne on his pants, so he goes to wash it off in the river.
What I will say to this movie's credit? It seems like they were having an affair. This lady and this man.
Oh, maybe that's okay.
That's the vibe I got.
Yeah,
I don't know if
same,
you guys got the
same.
vibe, but yeah.
Absolutely.
I got the vibe. But you know what? He's like at a country club. He's a rich guy having an affair. Age-appropriate affair partner.
That's a good point.
Doesn't go for a younger, like, trophy affair.
Yeah. Because then he gets killed by a giant lake monster, and she seems genuinely distraught, and it's like, oh my goodness. Not because of the monster, but because he's dead.
More distraught than our main leads have ever been in their entire film career.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't she say his full name when she ran in and said that he was dead?
Yeah.
Jeff Caraway is dead?
Yeah, has been eaten.
It's been... Oh, yeah!
which was a weird way of putting it.
I remember thinking, what? I didn't write it down. I'm glad you remembered that.
I think that's a fun... Like, I feel like that line needed... They didn't play that line up hard enough. You as the audience have no idea who this guy is.
Yeah.
And then she says the line as if everyone knows who this...
Yeah.
Is it Caraway?
I think it's Caraway. Yeah, I think it is.
Who this Caraway character is. I think that's funny.
Yeah. But anyway, apparently off screen they then chase this monster down, and it's out of the water for so long that it suffocates.
Yes.
In the oxygen. And so the fireman takes it to our two scientist lads, and they have a look at it, and they're like, pretty weird, hey, actually. It's a bit weird.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, yep, it choked on the oxygen. Yep, that checks out.
Yeah.
But it was by the golf course, which is not great, because that's kind of far away from the original starting point.
Yeah, they're branching out
So
somehow.
they're starting to think, they're moving underground somehow,
Yeah.
you know.
Then we get our first cameo, which isn't really a cameo because she wasn't that popular at this time, but for me it's a cameo because I'm like, oh, it's that popular actor now in a smaller role. Sarah Silverman shows up for a bit as Duchovny's ex.
Oh, yeah! Was she in
No, I don't think...
the incest film?
Yes, she was in the incest film
Yes,
as well.
Wow,
Yeah.
there you go.
Did you guys watch a different version of the movie from me?
No, different film.
No, as in Sarah... I don't remember Sarah Silverman being in Evolution.
She's the ex, yeah.
she's
his
the ex,
She's with
and
the police officer.
Yeah, she's with the police officer, and then he talks with her, and he's like, I want my shirts back, and then she goes and, like, starts stripping off her shirt.
Is that not in your version?
Full disclosure, I watched this in 2 sittings, and that might have been exactly where I fell asleep. And then...
Oh, there's a bunch of dead dinosaur things on the highway.
Oh,
That
yes.
was cool.
They're like dragon things.
Dragon,
They've got,
yeah,
like,
dragons.
But they've got, like, crappy, ripped-up wings. They're, like, not working, and they're all dead except for one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is when they're at the
down,
golf
like,
course.
4 quotes here. Yeah.
They look over the edge of a cliff at the golf course, and they see. Yeah.
They realize that the cave that the meteor landed in kind of spreads out to all these areas around Arizona.
Because we see one of these flying reptiles. They're like all pouring out. Throughout the movie, we keep seeing these aliens pour out in different places, but they all die.
Yeah.
Because they can't breathe oxygen.
Yeah.
But then we see this flying reptile dinosaur thing huck up a big loogie. As
call
it's
it
so...
I forgot to mention this earlier.
Yeah.
In the original cave,
Yeah.
there is a big sack on the ground that looks like a ball sack. It looks like a shaved veiny ball sack.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I think I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of...
I'm sorry for that interjection.
No. Please. I too would like to talk about how the big loogie looks like a testy.
I think that thing on the ground was modelled after a ball sack.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you think it was deliberate?
Do you think that, because it's either not deliberate or it's the Rick and Morty thing where they try and make every alien in some way look like...
Yeah, well, one looked like an ass earlier, so, you could be on to
It's
something
deliberate.
there.
Maybe this is where the Rick and Morty designers got their inspiration.
Do you
Rick
think
and Morty actually owe a lot to Evolution.
it was CGI, so do you think they did CGI tracking? They had all
Motion capture.
motion capture.
It was actually Andy Serkis's part, so...
Thanks, Andy Serkis, for your sacrifice. Anyway, this big old loogie that one hucks up before it keels over, it pops out a small little baby dinosaur pterodactyl thing.
Yeah.
And Block says, Muzzle tov, it's a boy!
That was pretty good. And then it flies off, and we get them in a shopping mall trying to stop this giant dragon alien thing.
Because it's adapted.
It's adapted to breathe out air.
Oxygen.
Which is crazy. And is a scene that does feel just like a Ghostbusters sequence, except instead of the ghost kind of capture beams, they just got shotguns.
Yeah.
They're just shooting this thing.
It was one
Yeah.
from being a Ghostbuster scene. Yeah.
Because they fight a flying ghost in the first one, don't they?
Yeah. That's the whole, opening thing is when they actually find... I think it's Slimer, isn't it? And they're like, oh shit, it's an actual ghost.
I feel like this movie could have done... Like, it felt like a very short time period this movie was set in.
Yeah.
And I feel like it really could have done with more of a feeling of them going around hunting different evolved creatures.
That would have been
Just
great.
lean more into the Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Have the, what were they? The Alien Fan Club or Alien Fanatic Fan Club.
And it's a cool TV show. Like, I know they've already done the cartoon, but a cool live action Monster of the Week.
I miss those.
With these weird evolved alien creatures.
Yeah.
That sounds like... Did you ever watch Primeval? Which was a British dinosaur
I remember it was on Channel 10.
Yeah. It came out like during the quote-unquote height of Doctor Who, the popular time with David
remember
Tennant.
it was like on after Merlin.
Oh, it was on after Merlin. Merlin was an interesting show. I would never rewatch it because I bet it's awful now.
I have tried to watch Merlin several times. Attempted. The CGI is a lot worse in that one than it is in this, that's for sure. Anyway.
My thing with Merlin was just how long, because like they were always like, this quest is so epic and important. Let's go fight some weird goblin thing that's in a tavern. Like, they always just got so sidetracked. That's very funny. But yeah, they're in the mall, they're chasing around.
You know what's actually funny? I didn't really watch Primeval or Merlin. I just watched the ads, and so I knew what the time slot was.
There you go.
That is funny. There we go. But I digress, and we digress.
We do digress. Much like the Merlin team, we are on its side.
You know what?
So where are we up to?
Speaking of digressing,
They're fighting,
I think
yes,
it would have been good if we could
And
have...
this is the bit... Zach,
Sorry.
I'm trying to keep this podcast on the rails,
sorry,
okay? Earlier I took it off the rails, and I realised that was a mistake, and then I made a commitment. There was a ceremony to me keeping it on the rails, so now I'm kind of defender of the rails.
Okay. Can I go off the rails for just 2 seconds?
Okay, but give us a little taster of what is
and
off the
we'll
rails,
decide.
and we will decide whether or not...
It's extending off the whole TV show sort of monster of the
You may
week.
proceed.
Okay.
I like how I don't get a say in this.
No, you're not the chairman of keeping it on the rails.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, this is like...
You want the responsibility to keep this on the rails?
Okay.
You want that weight on your shoulders?
This is that guy from like mythology who's like holding the earth on his shoulders,
Atlas, yeah.
but it's just like a rail.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to see more of like the character development of their skills that they bring to the table. Like you could.
Bro, you want to see an Ayn Randian dystopia where Atlas has indeed shrugged the responsibility to keep it on the rails?
Like, if they.
But that would be just like the movie Atlas Shrugged, where the movie is not on the rails.
If they just had like a slower build-up of monsters, you could have had that whole thing where you had one person who was like an evolution expert. So that one that pops out the river, he's like, oh, it's evolved like a crocodile.
And then they do a twist and it's like Charles Darwin's grandchild.
Sure. But like, it's evolved like a crocodile. One of the weaknesses of a crocodile is they have very weak jaw-opening muscles. So he uses that to like tie its jaw up, and so it's like he's the expert on evolution and creatures and stuff.
Zach, that was a worthy departure from the rails.
I thought it was, which is why I tried to push for it so hard.
I liked how the departure from the rails that Zach wanted then leaded into a second departure of the rails for us. While you're
About
also
the
trying
nature
to,
of departing from rails.
while you're trying to keep it on the rails by continuing with your departure from the rails.
There was a lot of rails. All right, back to the regular rails.
Okay, pterodactyl. They're hunting a pterodactyl.
In a mall, the fireman guy starts to sing a song, but it's like the bird song, and that was funny.
It starts going cacock. He goes caca caca, chicka-chee, chicka-chee, and then Block says... what did he say? He says, like, I think we've established that cacaw, caca, chicka-chee, chicka-chee doesn't work.
Yeah,
that's right.
Sometimes I do notice details.
Yeah. And then
Who's observant now, guys?
Yeah, you are, Jack. You're very observant.
Okay, thanks.
And then
Remember when you said, "Hey, we're about to record the worst episode you guys have ever done"?
so he starts to sing, and then I love that the what's his face, main lead guy,
Duchovny.
Duchovny is like, I'm going to shoot him, and he's like, no, don't do that. I've got this. I'm going to shoot him.
Yeah.
You know, this one's mine.
But it actually does call the dragon over, and they shoot it in the back,
Yeah.
and it dies.
Oh yeah, did you? Sean William Scott's character, the fireman, he doesn't do kaka kaka chicka chicka. He starts singing.
He does sing.
He sings. Was it "You Are So Beautiful"? To me,
Yes.
He
Is that-
sings, somebody wants to be... Yeah, sorry.
That was a good departure.
Yeah.
But yeah, they shoot the pterodactyl, and then the governor of Arizona rocks up, and it's none other than Dan Aykroyd
as Richard Nixon.
as Richard Nixon, and everyone just like clapped because I was like, "Oh yeah, he is in this,"
Yeah.
and it's good that he's there. I think he was full conspiracy nut at this point, right? 2001.
Was he ever not?
Oh, good point.
Is Dan Aykroyd a conspiracy nut?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, the original script for Ghostbusters was like some weird, like Scientology-esque alien thetan
You
thing.
know what? I want to say this, and not just because I've learned this. I never got Dan Aykroyd.
You never got him.
I never got him.
Like
what-
why he's good? Is that what
Yeah, why he's good, why people like him, what he's about.
I think he's a better
It's hard to
writer than he is
describe.
an actor.
Okay.
It's hard to describe. I like his voice
Yeah.
and his face.
Do you think he has an important voice?
I don't know if important's the word I'd use.
Oh, his actual voice.
Yes.
His physical voice.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
not like, not like
right.
his,
Okay.
his impression on the world.
Yeah.
His impression on the world was selling bad vodka to people for an exorbitant price. That's it. Like, I don't know. I haven't tried it actually.
Gotcha.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
it might be
Allegedly. But no, like his acting and his voice. I don't know. They're
I like his...
somewhat
yeah.
endearing, I guess, is what
Okay.
I would say.
He
So-
seems like an everyman
Yeah, that's it. That's
that's
the
funny.
one. The-
Maybe, you know what? Maybe if he wasn't in the movies that he was in, I'd miss him.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like maybe he's that so
Yeah.
everyman that it's hard to feel like he's making a real impact, but his impact is so
Yeah.
understated.
So,
that-
like, when he's playing the governor, you feel like he's more of an everyman governor. Like, he's more down to
Yeah,
earth.
that's true.
Whereas
Yeah.
if he's
say
playing
everyman some more, and I think
Everyman,
you'll
everyman.
One
everyman.
Well, one
Everyman.
movie I really like where he plays in Everyman is his role as the dad in the first My Girl.
Oh, everyman.
right,
He's really good in that.
right.
It's him and Jamie Lee Curtis, and I'm like, this is surprisingly good. And then, because like
Everyman.
you focus on the Everyman kid,
Everyman.
but the star of the movie really is the Everyman dad.
Right.
Everyman.
It's a good film.
Is the beating? Would you say it's the beating heart of the movie?
I would say he's the Everyman's beating heart of that
Yeah.
movie. My Girl, it's good. We did an episode on the sequel. Wasn't as good.
It was an everyman movie.
They realize that in 2 months, all of America is going to belong to the aliens now that they can breathe oxygen.
Yeah, it's that whole, like, if they double consistently every day, how long will it take before they
Yeah.
take over the entire Earth?
And they
The
also...
answer is not long.
Not very long, 2 months, and they also realise that inside of the area where they've quarantined off, they've turned into primates. And we get the classic quote, now that's a face for radio.
Haha, which is relatable.
That's pretty funny.
Now these primates are scary.
they are
They're
actually
creepy.
scary.
They look like a combination between, like, a ghoul and a yeti.
I was thinking that. I was thinking like classic Doctor Who Yeti.
Yeah. They're a face only a radio could love.
Yeah, and not the audience of the radio, just the inanimate object of the radio
Yes,
itself.
the one without eyes.
Yeah.
And an ability to see.
And so they shoot
they're
them
ugly.
dead. They shoot them both dead. They shoot the primates
As
dead.
opposed to shoot them alive.
And then the army's like, all right, that's it. If there's primates in there, we are going to destroy them all. Gonna napalm the heck out of this cave. And Julianne Moore's like, nah, I'm joining the boys now.
Yes, she decides to throw away everything in her career for no reason whatsoever other than the fact that she wants to get some of that juicy
Duchovny.
yeah,
Duchovny.
Yeah.
I hate that, but
There we go. That's what I was
good.
looking for.
They're walking through the town and they see those two. We haven't really talked about them. The dumb, large lads in the college who are.
So it's Ethan Suplee from My Name is Earl.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
And he was in Butterfly Effect.
And then also Michael Bauer, yeah.
Yeah, the other, we don't know. who the
Who's
other
not
guy is.
Nickelodeon, I think it
Yeah.
says here. Yeah. Yeah, it's those two, and they call
These
beer
guys in the
brewski.
opening, like one of the opening scenes,
Yeah.
it was established that these guys were not smart.
Yeah.
These guys, they're a little
stupid.
They're a little dull.
Yeah.
They have a whole biology class and they talk about cells and they mention that their uncle is in a cell.
Yeah, they're
That's
like,
what they write about.
And they're
Cells
proud
about
of it.
Yes.
I like that joke though because they're not like they're proud that they both submitted the same paper.
Yes.
I like that idea. It's funny.
yeah. They're like, hell yeah, we're so alike, man. That's epic.
It's good. But yeah, they call beers brewskis, which I find funny, and they bring some brewskis over to the boys.
Do you guys want to start saying brewskis instead of
Oh,
beers?
absolutely, we should bring it back.
We can bring it
I
back.
don't
We haven't brought anything back in a while.
I didn't even necessarily need it to be brought back. I just was wondering
No,
if
we're
you
bringing
guys
it
wanted
back.
to say it. No, we don't have to.
No, we are.
We can just...
You don't get a choice in this matter. You're to keep this podcast on track.
I can choose
I'm in charge.
to accept... What I'm saying is that can be your cross to bear.
Yeah.
But I'm just...
Oh, absolutely.
I'm happy for the brewskis thing to just be between you, me, and Sandro.
Okay.
So by that, do you mean when we're together we call them brewskis, when we're apart we don't? Or when we're apart we continue the brewskis?
When we're together we call them brewskis. When we're apart and talking to other people about getting beers with other people, we call them beers. But when we're with other people talking about when we got brewskis with one of the other three, then we say brewskis.
All right.
Yes.
I'm on board.
Does that
with
make
this.
sense?
No, that's
Is that
very
pretty
logical.
clear?
Yeah. That's
I like
actually
this idea.
extremely logical. Much more.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
If I say I'm talking to you as I am now,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm talking about how I would talk
to
about
another person
how
who
I
isn't
would-
part of the group.
how I talk to another person, like I'm saying to you, I'd say, hey, I got beers with this
them,
other
yes.
person.
Gotcha. Thank you for that clarification that wasn't needed.
I feel like that would be confusing because then we'd be like, but we weren't there for those brewskis. You know what I mean? Like if you're saying I went
But
and got
if
brewskis
you
with
have
my
to
mate.
switching back and forth,
Yeah, well, you just have to
is
be
there
careful.
a scenario in which you'd have to switch back and forth between brewskis and beers?
I think it's just a scenario we'll have to try and avoid.
I think this will kind of work itself out as like...
Yeah.
I think this is a...
Because we're all going to
feature
forget
of
this
language
after
that
the
will sort of
fucking
naturally-
podcast and never mention brewskis ever fucking again.
I would argue that this was part of the rail.
I disagree.
And not truly a departure.
I feel like I'm going to elect a different rail master in the near future. Just saying.
Dear me. All right, Block's got a cigarette. Cigarette lands on specimens, and the specimens turn into weird vein, like giant roots made out of alien matter, and they're like, oh no.
They just explode out of the Petri dish.
And so they realize that the napalm the army's going to drop in the cave is going to turn all the aliens into this massive thing. And so they're like, we need to stop them. How to stop them? The periodic table will help.
Yeah, thank goodness that this lady is wearing this one shirt with the periodic table just on the back of it, and that the main character looks at it and goes, oh, hey, whoa.
This is a great line that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah?
So he looks at the periodic table and he says, on Julianne Moore's show, and he says, wait a second, I'm beginning to see a pattern.
Yes.
A pattern is things repeating over time in a predictable way.
Yes.
This is just one link that he drew.
Yeah, there's nothing to do with it.
You're so right.
It's the most generic... The plot here is so bad.
Which is, so people are carbon-based life forms. If you
Yes.
go down 2 on the periodic table and go across 1,
Yes.
then you get to arsenic.
It's dangerous for humans.
It's dangerous
Yes.
to humans. But then
Then
nitrogen,
nitrogen-based, yeah.
which is 1 next to carbon. And if you go down 2 and across 1, you get to selenium.
And so they're like, we need to spray this alien cave with selenium.
But there's a lot of other things on the periodic table that don't go well with humans. What should have happened was just a repeat of the last scene where random happenstance of fire, they learn that fire is really bad because it makes it evolve super quickly.
And then one of the dumb lads is greasing up his hair with Head and Shoulders.
So what happens is, like, it grows onto the ceiling and then a bit drops on his head.
Yeah.
But it, like, immediately dies because of all the shampoo in his head.
I reckon that would have been better. But yeah...
you needed to foreshadow it. You needed to have a guy who was obsessed with head... You needed those characters to be obsessed with Head and Shoulders at the start of the movie.
They needed to have Head and Shoulders in their hand in that first scene in the movie where they're taking their test. And in celebration, they start coating their hair.
These guys, these guys already in this movie, in this version of the movie, in the actual version of the movie, these characters already loved Head and Shoulders.
Yeah.
But I think if you need to take this movie from an 8.5, which it is, to that 9.5,
say like a 6 out of 7.
the change that you need to make was you needed these characters to love Head and Shoulders.
I reckon you're right.
Yeah.
You needed these characters to be obsessed with Head and Shoulders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right from day dot.
Yeah. But anyway, they're smart. They're like, selenium, it's in Head and Shoulders. We love it. So they put... Probably like how many bottles of Head and Shoulders would fill up a fire truck?
Wait, they said like 500 liters, right?
Yeah.
Did they say that?
So 500
Well,
liters.
from the pile,
like
I would estimate there was about 500 bottles in that pile.
I was trying to get the order of magnitude right, so it's 2... Say they're 250.
If they're liter bottles.
Oh, they're liter bottles?
I don't know. I said if they're liter bottles.
It looked like they were using the small ones that you keep in the shower.
they're like 500 mils.
Probably like 1,000.
They would need 1,000.
1,000.
Yeah.
That's
I'd say
Fermi. It was a Fermi equation.
yeah.
We got there.
So they fill the fire truck up with shampoo. The army's hitting that cave with as much bombs as it has, and it's growing. It's growing so big, something massive comes out of the ground, and it's like a giant fart squid?
No, it's like a starfish.
Starfish squid.
It's like
Suicide Squad.
It did remind me a lot of that.
The good one.
Because a starfish has a combo orifice, which is its mouth and its anus.
Yeah.
Which is just one thing. So that's why I say starfish, although it does separate via mitosis. Although we never get to see that because it's midway through it.
When they kill it, yeah.
Before they kill it. I will say it's very convenient, actually, that they go in to kill these aliens, and there are all these separate creatures, but because they napalmed it up, it becomes one big amorphous blob, and so they only have to kill one alien.
Yeah.
Instead of, hundreds of thousands spreading out everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just one big alien.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
I would have liked a gear up scene where they get like little spray bottles full
I think
of it.
that you heard it here first that Zach and Sandra are apologists for the military-industrial complex.
Oh, no!
And I
really
stand by it.
They are very pro-war.
No, I'm just pro napalm. Not war, really, just the napalm.
Sounds like a really bad car sticker. Napalm doesn't kill people. The army do.
Happens to be a byproduct of war. Well, I guess I endorse the war.
Yeah. It's not that I really endorse the war. I just think we should napalm more alien species that crash land on our planet, because it will make amorphous blob aliens that are one alien, which is much easier to kill than hundreds and thousands.
Well, when
of
you put
aliens.
it that way, it's actually a much more nuanced take than I gave you credit for. I really think that we should hear people out when they say that they're pro-napalm.
Yeah. Look.
I don't think we do well as a society with that. I really don't think we do.
I'm not a monster here. I'm not just pro-napalm for no reason. Not because I like flames. No, it's the strategy here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have liked to see, like, a montage of them taking down aliens.
Yeah, rather than just the giant one.
Just the one big one, and then maybe the one big one. I don't know. It's just a little convenient.
It's also lacking some of the character of, like, Marshmallow Man as well.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff like that.
Marshmallow Man, super charismatic.
They
guy.
could have
Love
made
that guy.
they could have made a much cooler final villain, I will say.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, like the superhero thing of the noughties, I guess, which is a giant, shiny thing.
You know, and that actually was my... like, I did have a slightly empty feeling in the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was because with that final villain, they cared more about having the heroes be victorious than having had the heroes overcome something significant.
So the giant thing, it's killing people and it's splitting. So they drive the fire truck underneath it, where there's a giant hole. It's a noose, if you will. And they get ready to just spray Head and Shoulders right up there.
Isn't it convenient that the starfish thing is holding itself up?
I thought that as well.
It just doesn't, all it takes is 2 seconds for it to just sit down and it crushes our good guys and they die.
Yeah,
even when they shove a thing up its ass that kills it, like poison, shoving it up, it only collapses after the good guys have driven it out.
Heroes do tend to have terribly good luck.
Yeah, I just would have preferred it if it immediately collapsed on them and they all had to climb up through the orifice. I feel like more realistic. And could have kept the humorous tone somewhat. I feel like something in there is funny. I'm not sure.
Oh, actually, I misread my quote there. My quote is they drive they drive the truck under it and start to spray Head and Shoulders into its farty anus.
Oh yeah, it lets off a big fart at one point.
I did laugh.
Nasty.
I did laugh though when the army's like, "What are they doing?" Oh, it looks like they're getting ready to administer a jumbo enema.
Thanks, Dan Aykroyd.
It's pretty good. And yeah, they kill it. They spray it and they kill it. Block gets sucked up into the anus for a little bit, and he's like, "You won't believe what I've seen in there, man."
Yeah.
Great. And then it explodes.
Yeah.
It lets up a fart and then it explodes.
Yeah.
Because of course it does.
Classic.
And that's pretty much the end of the movie. After that, it's just the governor awards them. Reed and Kane fucking a fire truck.
Yeah.
And there's a fake...
It's implied.
Yeah.
And there's a fake ad for Head and Shoulders that then leads into the thing, which I guess confirm it probably was sponsored.
Oh yeah. I was going to ask you, Sandro. Do you have any word on the street? Was it sponsored by?
It's so hard to tell.
I think when I was a kid, after I saw that movie, I did get Head and Shoulders. I definitely put Head and Shoulders on my radar.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I want to get Head and Shoulders right now.
Anyway, that's Evolution. What are you going to rate it? One of the acts. Which one wants to go first?
I think it's a solid 8.5 out of 10. No, really.
You son of a bitch. You fucking prick.
That was real.
The anger, the fury, after all this. The trials and tribulations were finally at the end.
Yeah, what are you going to give it? An oldie or a goodie?
I'll give it a goodie. Yeah. I think, because I've watched it again now, after already watching it. And my usual thing is, would I recommend this to someone else? And I probably would.
You recommended it to me last week on the podcast.
Yeah, I did. I did do that. So, by my logic, I have to give this one a goodie.
Yeah.
And I feel good about it. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely not the best movie I've ever seen, but it was very enjoyable to watch.
Which
it was
is good.
super fun. So,
yeah.
And it got my brain thinking. It was a great idea, and it could. The only thing that annoys me is it could have been so much better.
Yeah.
They just took this and do that. It's a shame that they're not doing anything else with it, because I feel like it could have been more fun.
One day we might get Evolution Afterlife. That's a spoiler for Ghostbusters Afterlife, so I won't say that, but it's very sad and makes you think a lot.
Great. That's what I'm looking for in this movie for sure.
I actually enjoyed Ghostbusters Afterlife. It was fine. It was pretty good. Jack, what are you going to give it? An oldie or a goodie?
I'll say goodie.
Yeah.
I think I agree. I think it's a goodie.
Wow.
For me, it's like the Mummy Returns level of goodie, where it's like,
Yeah.
it's enjoyable.
absolutely.
It's just enjoyable, and that's about it.
Yeah, well, I don't watch The Mummy Returns because it's a good film.
I honestly think it owes a lot of that to its commitment to being light. Like,
It's really light.
Yeah, it doesn't half-ass that bit. Like,
Yeah.
it commits to being a light comedy film with this existential dread that is the apocalyptic nature of this hell beast from space.
Yeah.
But it's a fun time.
It's a fun time, and it's a lot of fun, and there's some funny parts in there. There's a lot of juvenile humour that I think would make this work for, like a 10-year-old. I think would get a lot out of this. Even nowadays, even knowing that the CG is somehow worse than the prequels, would be like, this looks pretty... I'm enjoying this.
The 10-year-old that's still alive in me...
Oh, I murdered mine years ago.
Yeah, but he lives on in me. Not yours, my own.
Okay, yeah, good.
No, Sandro's lives on in me.
But the 10-year-old that lives on in me certainly enjoyed this film.
Yeah, and Sandro's 10-year-old and he really enjoyed this film.
We're the Curiosity of a Child podcast.
I'm Anton, the son.
And I'm the daddy.
Daddy. I'm the daddy.
And we're curious about...
Everything.
We're a podcast about history, science, storytelling, and...
The curiosity of a child.
We like to dig into different topics, everything from the humble ox...
In that episode I had to learn about castration.
...to the most popular Christmas toys of yesteryear.
Including a doll that could bite your fingers off, and a pet rock.
We don't just talk, though. We like to experience. That might mean recording on location in a 5,000-year-old dolmen full of spiders and, reportedly, the entrance to the furry realm.
Or simply tasting spices from across the world.
We also recreated and ate various forms of corpse medicine, such as human brain, mellified man...
And a nice, warm glass of urine. Yum.
Listen to the...
Curiosity of a Child podcast.
3 goodies for evolution right there. Do we evolve evolution itself and make a crossover with another movie we've covered on the podcast?
I feel like we could do that. I mean, can we just pick Ghostbusters?
It would be very funny if it lands on Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Can we rig the number to just pick whatever Ghostbusters was?
Because that's what we do. I've got a random number generator between 1 and 178. The number it lands on, the movie we cover on that episode number, we're going to make a crossover between evolution and that film. It's number 138, which isn't Ghostbusters.
No, that's far too recent for it to be Ghostbusters.
Oh, fuck me, it's the Garbage Pail Kids movie.
Oh, no!
That's the worst film we've ever done.
That would actually be an incredible crossover.
I mean, yes.
Like the Garbage Pail Kids, because it's kind of already is the evolution. Kind of already is the Garbage Pail Kids.
Yes,
the Garbage Pail Kids wreak havoc.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
They're outsiders that wreak havoc.
Wait, have you seen the Garbage Pail Kids movie?
I've seen enough of the Garbage Pail Kids movie.
Yeah, it is definitely, probably, maybe one of the worst film we've ever seen.
I'd say it's probably the least enjoyable experience I've had watching a movie, and we sort of blame it on Mario.
It would be funny to learn that they're just like eldritch alien beings that have evolved, but they're like...
Oh, because they're from space.
Yeah.
The Garbage Pail Kids are from space.
Yeah. So they're... They might be like a byproduct of this evolution process, that they might be an evolutionary dead end, or just one of the finishing evolutions, where like their evolving
It was one of
process
the
is
dead
fucked
ends,
up.
like it evolved so quickly that you can catch the dead ends way quicker than you can over out. Yeah.
So they're just these like small humanoid pieces of shit human beings that can't really do anything well. And the alien species just comes in to clean them all up. They're like, yeah, these fucking things suck. We're here to fucking murder them.
Wait, so the Garbage Pail Kids have to fight back against these evolving aliens with the help of David Duchovny and crew.
Yes.
And the Ghostbusters show up from an alternate universe.
Yes.
And help. Because in the comics, the Ghostbusters have been going into different universes recently.
Yeah, that's definitely... that's the end credit scene.
The end credit scene is the Ghostbusters show up. But not just the Ghostbusters, the animated Ghostbusters with the gorilla and the female Ghostbusters all show up through like 4 portals and are like, and open, just leave. When they see the Garbage Pail Kids.
There's no ghosts here, and they go, oh shit, and they just leave.
In this movie, Block keeps taking photos of the Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, no! Why did you say that?
You can please cut that.
I won't.
You're not getting that cut.
There was a better version of that joke. Was there? But there was a better version of that.
He might enjoy that.
But you know what I should have said? I should have said Block insists that those kids are over. That's the better version of that joke.
And that is comedy.
We have hit comedy. Yeah. No. God, I don't want to think about the Garbage Pail Kids.
Well, then let's move on to raving reviews. You're still talking about the Garbage Pail Kids.
I'll just say that they all get murdered.
Oh, yeah. At least one Garbage Pail Kid gets torn in half.
Yeah. It gets that classic rip.
Yeah.
It would be very
And it's the fart one. It lets out a fart.
I know.
And then they say, wow, Farty McGoo really let it rip. We shouldn't write movies.
That was a child.
Next segment, what you got for us with these
It's time for raving reviews.
I want to apologise to Jack for this one being so long, but also you're the reason why.
This is part of the show. I grab a review from Rotten Tomatoes and grab it from the audience. I tell these two lovely gentlemen the review, and they have to guess what it was rated.
Yes.
Now it goes from 0.5 to 5.
Not 10.
Not 10.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
Did you make up your own review for this one?
No, that's not important. Don't tell them that bit. Don't tell them the bit that I wrote in one of these reviews, and that you get a bonus point at the end if you can guess which one I wrote.
Just keep that in mind, Jack.
Oh.
You're not meant to know that.
Indiana says, characters, planks of wood. Story, non-existent. Comedy, off the charts. Final rating, 65 out of 100. Because this is the part of the show, of course, where we have everyone's favourite segment. Your review scoring system is wrong. Now, Jack, you would agree that the rating system for Rotten Tomatoes is incorrect because it doesn't do it out of 10. Many people agree, and they put their own rating system in their review.
So 66?
65.
65 out of 100. I'll let Jack go first. What do you think they rated this then out of 5?
Out of 5, I think 2.
65 out of 100, though, I feel like that would be probably a 3.
That's a 3. Well...
and we're doing
the 65 out of 100 was relevant?
Well, that's what they wrote in their review.
They wrote 65 out of 100. But they also left a star review.
Correct.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
You
Isn't
can
that
change
a fun
your
thing? Hey, don't worry. There's only 3 of them here.
Yeah, I think 3 makes the most sense.
Yeah, 3? You're both going...
I don't know if you're going to let me get away with it.
I will allow you to get away with it.
I'll say 3.
Any day, because you're both still wrong, because it's 3.5.
Damn, but is it closest win?
Yes, so we
both still get a point. This is how we game the system.
Yeah.
We can all win.
I mean, you could always just both rate it the same thing each time, and you would both always win. We have a guy who didn't have a username who says, I know the CGI can be knocked as a tad corny, but other than that, the movie was very watchable. 2.8.
Out of what?
It didn't say out of what. It just said 2.8.
If it's out of 5, it would be closer to 3, so I would go 3. But if it's 2.8... no, actually, it would be closer... No, yeah, it's closer to 3, because 2.75 would be in the middle. So 7 would be 2.5. 2.8 would be 3. I'll say 3 stars.
Say 3? What do you think, Jack?
I had a very similar line of thinking. I'll say 3.
Also 3. Well, you're both correct. It is 3 out of 5. It is 3 out of 5. Well done. Well done.
There we go. We're getting points almost as quickly as those aliens were
I
evolving.
said similar line of thinking, but it was not the same line of thinking.
Okay. No.
What was your line of thinking, or would that be off the rails?
I will not disclose it here. Maybe in the Patreon.
You too can pay $5 a month to hear Jack's actual opinion.
I would love the idea that you just describe your line of thinking and we just upload that to Patreon.
Yeah. Francisco says, I don't understand why this movie has such a low rating from people. Granted, it's not the best comedy movie, but it doesn't deserve the 48%.
Okay, so Francisco took us on a bit of a journey there.
That was a long one, yeah.
Yeah.
So Francisco doesn't understand why this movie is so hated.
Yeah.
So it's not a bottom-dwelling rating.
Yeah.
It's not, I would say it's no lower than 2.5.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would actually say it's no lower than 3.
I would agree with that.
Wow.
That's a very strong opening statement.
Yeah.
Don't understand why this movie is so hated.
What do you think, Sandro? What are you on?
I agree. Yeah.
Before you give your rating,
Yeah.
I just wanted to learn Sandro's thoughts.
Oh, I think Jack is completely correct. In fact, I would even go so far as to say that, like, when people see that a movie is hated on Rotten Tomatoes, they usually feel the need to rate it higher than they would
That's a good
normally.
point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right,
Good
Jack.
Good thoughts. Now, this is the kind of insight and lines of thinking
But you can only get on Patreon.
as a taste.
God damn it.
So no lower than 3, I would say.
Okay,
What was
what-
the next part? Was it granted? Was it granted, comma?
I'm not repeating the question. Just
It
give
was
me...
something like, granted, it's not a perfect film. So I'm going to
Yes, it
say...
was something like that.
I'm going to say the ceiling is like 4.5. 3.5 or 4? Toss up between those two, I'm going to say 3.5.
You're going to go 3.5, Sandro?
I will go 4.5 because I think, again, people who see a movie, it's hated on Rotten Tomatoes, they love it more than they probably
The hill
should.
you're dying on. Well, fun fact, they actually rated it a 4 out of 5.
Well, we both get a point again.
We both get a point anyway after that long-winded bullshit. All right, you remember David from earlier.
Oh, no, not David.
Says, Duchovny is about as funny as a ripe turd. Duchovny.
But nothing, like, no other negative points for the movie. So probably like a 1.5.
1.5, all right.
2.
It's 0.5.
Pull away. I'm pulling away there.
So Sandra actually gets the point there. As, ripe turd. They don't enjoy ripe turds,
It's
guys.
just, I find it... I went up when I should have gone down. It's because I find it so difficult to imagine someone hating this movie.
Dakota says a, quote, Men in Black and, quote, Ghostbusters hybrid that came about 6 years too late. The comedic timing is a bit like a low-carb battery that needs the occasional jump. It's not a terrible film, but it does have its flaws. Orlando Jones is one of them.
Is a flaw.
Is a flaw.
2.5, no line of thinking,
Bam.
straight from the hip.
Bam.
Straight from the
Jack's
hip.
firing from the hip. Sandro's delaying so he has time to think about it.
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. It's 2.5.
Yeah!
Because going from the hip works.
What a dead-eyed dick I proved to be when
Yeah.
I don't go for the bluster option.
So I think we're all tied up now.
We're both on 4 points.
And normally the last one would be the tiebreaker, but there is that little bonus score later. So we have Katerina, who says, my tastes have evolved over the years, but this movie seems to adapt to them.
Ooh, smart.
It's dumb fun.
It's dumb fun. 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
I'm gonna undercut you.
Yeah.
Ooh.
3.5.
3.5?
It's 4 out of 5. Extra point. All right. Comes down to the final point.
And you can tie it up here, Jack, as well.
Yeah.
If you get this right.
So, you have to guess between all the reviews I've just read out, which one did this boy write?
And by this boy, he's pointing to himself.
Yes. And by that, I mean Sandro has a huge advantage because he's been working on this podcast.
I'm actually
with me
not
for
sure
3
which
years.
one your one is for, like, so far.
Yes, I made this one a little bit more devilish.
Quite devilish.
A little bit more manipulative.
Yeah, maybe the last one.
Oh, you're thinking the last one?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I was thinking of the last one, but the thing is, you do put your review at the last slot quite a bit. So I wasn't sure. I'm actually going to say the final one of the... what was the one that contained the percentage?
Yes, Francesco's review.
That one. I think because they bring up the percentage, and the percentage was also up to date as well. It was the current percentage, so I'm kind of like, maybe that is you. I'm going to go with that one.
Would you like to change your answer, Jack?
Oh.
No, don't give me that option. Don't give me that pity win.
Yeah. Because you're correct, Jack. I was the last one. Very good. Yes, I was Katrina, and I was the last one.
And that right there is a tied up Raven Reviews. We both got 5 points on that one. Good work, Jack.
Thanks, Sandro.
That's a combined win, and I feel like, as brothers in arms.
Take my name.
And that is the episode right there. Thank you so much for joining us, Jack.
Do we get to say best quotes?
We will at the very end, but first we've got to wrap up a couple things, including the fact that we are both in the sketch group Paul Noodle with Jacob, who was on the Shrek episode. We're not really working on much live stuff right now, but video content soon.
Yes.
That's all we'll say. It's in the works, which is a lot of fun. But is there anything else that you have to plug?
No.
You're just kind of around.
I kind of hover.
We've been on some 2 great episodes and some great Patreon specials might be coming up.
Yeah, your previous episodes, Shawshank, Dune, Ice Pirates as well.
Ice Pirates.
Those were your other ones. Check those episodes out.
Yeah. I'm actually quite recurring.
Damn.
As far as guests go, I recur.
You come back.
It's a good time.
We've got stuff to plug, including that Patreon that we mentioned earlier. Patreon.com/oldiebuddygoodypod. Maybe we'll get Jack to record something for it if you want to. But there is bonus episodes up there, including starting this week, I think, it's The Cagerama.
Oh, yes.
Is that starting this week or is that starting next week? I'm actually not sure.
At some point, it has been starting and is about to start. We are viewing Many a Cage.
Many Cage. It's starting with Ghost Rider.
Is caged in a box of film.
Yes, that is starting this Wednesday with Ghost Rider, and then we're doing 3 months of Nick Cage.
A financial cage, if you will, that he cannot escape, and his only escape option is to make more movies so he can repay the debts of his financial situation.
We're also on Instagram. We are on Facebook at oldiebuddygoodypod on everything. Personal accounts, they're there. Letterboxd, you're on it sometimes. It's good fun. Yep. You can also review us on iTunes or Spotify. It greatly helps get the show out in front of brand new people. We appreciate everyone who does that. If you review us, we'll read it out as well. You get a little shout out. Links to everything in the episode description. Zach, you're picking next week's episode.
Ooh, okay.
You got 3 options of films that came out next week in 2001, including Atlantis: The Lost Empire.
Oh, that's one of my favorite movies.
A modern animated film from Disney about a young adventurer who joins on the journey to find Atlantis, very similar to Treasure Planet, that whole era of films that they made. You've also got, speaking of finding lost treasure, Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
Oh, I have never seen any Lara Croft thing. I've never played a Lara Croft game. Really? I've never done anything with
You've
that.
never done any tomb raiding?
Yeah, not a one.
Yeah, well, that is a movie, where Angelina Jolie plays Lara Croft, raids some tombs, fights some dudes. Daniel Craig might be in that one, or Gerard Butler. One of the two is in that one as well. It's an interesting film. And then your final option is Sexy Beast.
Yeah, elaborate, please.
Dark comedy about an ex-gangster who's forced to take part in a bank robbery, and she might be a sexy... I'm actually not sure who the lead is, but it's called Sexy Beast, and I could look it up, but that involves...
I'd prefer you didn't. I think I've heard enough already, to be honest. I know which one I'm not picking. Which one I'm picking. So I've got Tomb Raider or... Atlantis.
Which one would you go for, Jack, out of those two?
Tomb Raider.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Because I know I like Atlantis.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, I have seen Atlantis multiple times, and I know that one's a good one, so I can have a good time. There's that guy with the explosives, which is one of the best characters in cinema.
Pretty fun. Well, we could do it on Patreon with Treasure Planet.
All right, I'll pick Tomb Raider.
All right.
And we can do Atlantis at some other point.
All right, next
Sounds
week.
like a good idea.
Next week's Lara Croft. Time to wrap up the episode right now with our favourite quote from Evolution. Mm-hmm. I think mine has still got to be "Sometimes science stinks." I think that's funny. Or it's I know I'm not a scientist, but how many cells do single-celled organisms have? It's just a funny line.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Can I tell them my favourite?
Yeah, go for it.
It's David Duchovny to Julianne Moore. It says, I got a question for you. Do you think you could ever be attracted to me?
I like how she just like smiles at that one.
But she smiles to herself.
Yeah.
Oh, that was when she's walking into a lift, right?
Yeah.
But it's not the dynamic of like two people who are at odds and then he wins her over by being like relentlessly.
Yeah, no. She's immediately like, he's great.
She's immediately defending this piece of shit.
Yeah.
And wrap us up, Zach. What's your favourite?
Well, I think there's always time for lubrication.
It's a good life lesson.
Yeah.
Stay safe, kids.
And with that, the rails have come to an end. As the train was lilting back and forth throughout its journey.
I think that episode
we saw the many distractions. I'm done.
How is this almost as long as our Pearl Harbor episode?